So it's not me being a good person. It's me just being in the world with other wonderful people that I learn from, really.
It started like a dream. Two of Hollywood's brightest stars, Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, building a life most could only imagine. A French chateau surrounded by endless vineyards, 6 children, a family that looked untouchable. But behind those walls at Château Miraval, the same place where they said, "I do," something broke. And now, years later, Angelina is revealing how deeply that break really cut. She's opened up in new court filings about what she calls an emotionally difficult and traumatic separation, and her words show just how painful this chapter has been for her and for her kids. The events leading to my need to separate from my ex-husband were emotionally difficult for me and our children, she wrote. What happened to the Hollywood fairy tale that became one of the most heartbreaking stories in celebrity history? Chateau Miraval wasn't just property. It was love, laughter, and the symbol of a family that seemed perfect from the outside. Angelina and Brad poured their hearts into it. They married there, raised their children there, and even brought their newborn twins home to that estate. Every corner of Miraval told their story, from quiet mornings in the garden to the echoes of children running through the halls. But the same place that once held their happiest moments would later become a haunting reminder of what they lost. As Angelina wrote, "We have never again set foot in Miraval because of its connection to the painful events leading to the divorce." That single line tells a story all its own. Because for her and for their children, Miraval wasn't just a house anymore. It was a wound that wouldn't heal. In 2016, when she decided to walk away, it wasn't about fame or money, it was about survival. Angelina says she left Brad full control of their homes, including Miraval, without asking for a single cent. She hoped giving him that control would calm the storm between them after what she described as a difficult and traumatic period. That act, letting go of everything they built, was a quiet surrender most people never saw. It wasn't about power. It was about peace. If you've ever had to walk away from something you loved just to protect your peace, you'll understand exactly what she did. After leaving Miraval, Angelina rented a small home for her and the kids in Los Angeles. She says she immediately began looking for a more stable solution, somewhere new, somewhere untouched by old memories. For nearly 2 years, she turned down work, something rare for a woman who built one of the strongest careers in Hollywood. Her focus was on her children's healing. She describes it as a time where every decision revolved around helping them recover emotionally from the chaos. And yet, even while focusing on her family, the shadow of Miraval followed her. Her savings were tied up in that estate. She hadn't asked Brad for alimony or financial support, but she still needed to find stability. So when she sold her share of Miraval years later, she says it wasn't about revenge, it was about survival. But that move opened a brand new chapter of conflict. Brad Pitt sued Angelina for selling her share of Miraval to the Jolie Group, claiming she did it without his permission. Angelina argued she didn't need it. The disagreement wasn't just about ownership, it was about control, legacy, and the emotions tied to that home. What was once their shared dream became their battlefield. One that wasn't measured in love anymore, but in paperwork, filings, and lawyers' letters. And while the media called it a business dispute, Angelina's latest statement proves it's far more personal than that. Recently, Angelina asked the court to order Brad to pay $33,000, not as compensation, but to cover legal fees she says she was forced to pay. She explained that Brad's legal team demanded she turn over private messages related to Miraval. Her lawyers repeatedly asked him to drop the motion, warning that if the court denied it, they'd request that he pay for her attorney's time. He didn't back down, and now she's standing her ground. On paper, $33,000 might not sound like much to people of their wealth, but symbolically, it represents something bigger. It's the cost of being unheard, the price of reliving pain through yet another court filing. Brad's team argues his motivation isn't control, but protection. They claim he fought for Miraval to safeguard his children's future, to preserve their inheritance. According to sources, once Angelina sold her share, the value dropped, reducing what the kids would one day receive. It sounds noble on paper, but fans are divided. Some believe Brad's intentions are genuine, a father protecting his legacy. Others say it's less about business and more about rewriting how the story will be remembered. Whose side do you think holds more truth? Angelina protecting her peace or Brad protecting his pride? Angelina wrote that the hardest part wasn't losing a property, it was losing the memories tied to it. Miraval was one of the first major investments we made together, she said. We were married there. I brought our twins home there from the hospital. To have such a sudden break from my home and memories has been hard. Those words don't sound like legal testimony. They sound like heartbreak. Because at its core, this isn't about contracts or money. It's about two people who once shared everything, now fighting over the pieces left behind. And the truth is, when children are caught in between love and legacy, nobody truly wins. Angelina says she and her kids have never gone back to Miraval. For them, it's a chapter closed, but one that still leaves echoes. She's found new strength in starting over, raising 6 kids on her own, rebuilding a life away from the noise. It's not perfect, but it's peaceful. And maybe that's all she ever wanted, peace. If you believe that healing sometimes means walking away, even from what you once loved, hit that like button. It helps us share more stories that go beyond the headlines. When you strip away the fame, the money, and the headlines, what's left is a story about love, loss, and survival. Chateau Miraval was supposed to be their forever home. Instead, it became a monument to everything that went wrong, a place that reminds us that even the most beautiful dreams can turn into heavy memories. Angelina's journey isn't one of revenge, it's one of resilience. She didn't ask for sympathy or even support. She just wanted peace for herself and her children. And maybe, after all these years, she's finally learning to find it. If you want more emotional, real-life stories behind Hollywood's biggest headlines, don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell, because there's always more to the story than what you see in the news.